Hello, friends. Hope you all are doing well. So, in today's session, let's talk about how we can configure our Palo Alto firewall for PPOE client interface. So, in this case, basically, what we will do is we have a Palo Alto firewall and we will configure this interface as a PPOE interface. Okay, so let's start with doing a configuration that needs to be done. So topology that we will be using here is we have one router. Let's consider this as a ISP router, and this is connected through Ethernet to Palo Alto firewall. So this is basically we can say is it's a point to point over Ethernet. Okay. Now we need to do configuration of this ISP router first. So let's start with doing configuration for that one. Let's name this as ISP or PPOE server. Okay. So now first thing that we need to do is we need to configure one virtual template. Then we need to provide IP address for that virtual template, right? So once that's done, next step that we need to do is we need to unshut the interface that connects to Palo Alto firewall, that is ETH 0/0. So we'll just unshut that interface, right? So once that's done, we need to create one BBA group. So we'll create a BBA group for PPOE, and name we will give there any name you can give. We'll give is as a, let's say, my lab, right? In this BBA group now we need to call our virtual template. So our virtual template number is virtual template 1, right? Now what we need to do is we need to map this BBA group into physical interface. So we'll go to ETH 0/0. Command will give is PPOE enable and group name of the BBA group, that's my lab. Okay, so once that's done, what we will need to do another thing is on interface virtual template, we need to enable authentication. So for here we'll do is PPP authentication. For this one we'll be using PAP. So basically PAP is, we can say that it is unsecured authentication, as the username and password that it transmits, it is in the plain text format, so anyone can sniff into it. So like PAP is considered kind of unsecured one at the moment. So once that's done, next thing we will do is we need to create one local username. So let's say username will say here is Cisco privilege 15, password, okay, password 0, and password will give it as a Cisco 123. Okay, so once that's done, next thing that we need to do is right. So once this is done, let's start with doing configuration on Palo Alto side. So on the Palo Alto side, there is no configuration done. It's like, firewall with no blank configuration on it. So on ETH 1/1, that's connects to this, let's say PPOE server. Uh, we'll make it as a layer 3 interface, and virtual router will use as default only. Here, security zone that we have created, one is a WAN zone, and then we are going to enable here PPOE. Then we need to provide the username. So the username and password that we have configured on this router, so this is our username and this is our password. So password that we will mention here is this one. Okay. Now once that's done, on the advanced side under authentication we will mention it as a PAP, right? So in this case, now what we will do is we will give a static IP address in this case. So let's give one IP address as IP address 20.20.20.1. So it will be .20.20.20.1 slash 8. Okay. So this is the static IP address in this case we are assigning. Let's do OK and commit. In the meantime, let's log into Firewall and right now commit is getting completed. Okay, as you can see now that the commit is completed. So let's go to CLI and type the command show interface all, and we can see that now that the WAN zone interface is having the IP address of 2021, and on this PPOE router the IP address that we have configured is 15.1.1.2. So now let's try and ping source 2020.21 to host 15.1.1.2. Yeah. So as we can see that now this connectivity is working. Another way we can check is show pp show PPOE sessions. Yeah, so as you can see that from ETH0 port on virtual template 2.1, this connection is there. Okay, and we can see that this is the MAC address of the firewall, which is this one. Okay, so this is one of the method that we can use to configure Palo Alto firewall for a PPOE interface. Next one that we can do is if we are getting a IP address from this, ISP in a dynamic way. So this is kind of, in current case, we saw that we assigned IP address to firewall. So in next case, let's say it's a smaller office with a DSL router, and they are providing IP address in a dynamic way. So for that, the configuration that we need to do on ISP side, like let's say this is our PPOE server, so we need to do little bit of configuration there also. So for that first method, uh, that we will do is let's create one local pool. So we'll name it as IP local pool 1. Okay. Oh, okay. Pool 1. So there we need to provide IP address range. So let's give it 30, 30, 31. Then last IP address. So we'll give it the 30, 30, 35. Right? So we have this pool created. So next, what we need to do is we need to call this pool in virtual template. So we go to interface virtual template 1, right? Then we need to give command peer default IP address, then pool and name of pool, that is pool 1. Okay. So in this way, we will be giving IP address dynamically to Palo Alto firewall. Then let's come to firewall side, and here under advanced static IP address, we just need to make it as none and click OK, and let's do commit. In the meantime, one more thing is, as we can see that all the configurations that we are doing is on virtual template 1. So reason behind that is, as you can see, when I go to this ETH 0 interface, the interface type is a ARPA, right? So we cannot directly convert the interface ETH 0/0. See, there is no command to change the encapsulation here on this Ethernet interface. So that's the reason what we are doing is we are creating one virtual interface, that's the virtual template one, and that is getting used for assigning IP address. So how it is, like what we can say is, first it will come is like a Ethernet header, and over Ethernet header there would be a PPOE thing, and then over PPOE it is a like IP and further. So what we can say is like this PPOE is between the IP and Ethernet thing. So that's the reason it's called like PPOE, point to point over Ethernet. Okay. So let's check if commit has been completed. Okay, now let's come to firewall and see if we got, oops, sorry, let's come here, and you can see that now we have got the IP address dynamically from the IP pool configured on PPOE server side. So now let's try and check connectivity with our PPOE server. Yeah, so the connectivity is there. So one more thing that this PPOE server does is, you can see that it sends us a default route pointing to the IP address. So we can see that whenever it push the config, it gives us the default route pointing to their IP address, right? So this settings can also be changed. There is a command to change that also. Okay, so this is one of the method that using local IP pool we can assign IP address dynamically, right? Okay guys, thank you for watching my videos. If you like my videos, please do subscribe and share. It gives me motivation to create more videos. Thanks for your time. You have a good day. Bye.